everybody. Welcome. I'm glad to bring to you another conversation about mums and mum life. My name is Ingrid Wolpert. I'm a personal coach for mums, and I help them improve every aspect of their lives, really. So this can be relationships, to their kids, to their partner, and most importantly, to themselves. And I help them improve their health and well-being, like exercising or eating better. Also their emotional health, so coping with anxiety and experiencing more joy in life. So that's what I do. Francini, would you like to just briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, I'd love to. Okay, I'm Francini Estes. I am also a mom life coach. I help moms that are overwhelmed and feeling burnt out, and have been working a lot with moms with kids with special needs and with difficult children. And I just help them find the path to feel better and live with more joy and excitement, helping them by just meeting themselves where they are and finding their identity outside of their role as a mother. A lot of my clients says, I'm just feeling like stuck in this rut. I don't know what's going on. So we just meet and then we find out what's going on, what's stopping you from, feeling good and excited about life. So that's what I do. And I love our time together and our conversations.
Yeah.
And today I think we have something really interesting to talk about, because that's come up a lot for me as a mom, and I bet for a lot of moms out there. And it's do you feel like your children make it hard for you to love them? So what do you think about that, Ingrid?
Okay, this is a really good one. Yeah, because which mom hasn't thought at times, about their child, if only, you behaved a little bit better, or you didn't, throw your dinner on the floor every night like my son does at the moment. He's just really tired by the time he gets back from preschool, and then dinner, honestly, it's like a disaster every time. And and so, I think it's easy to have that thought cross your mind, if you were just a little bit more cooperative, that would make it so much easier for me to really love you, right? But the first thing we have to remember is love, it's an emotion, right? It's something we feel. But it doesn't just come out of nowhere. Like, you're not just going to feel love and feel inspired by love out of the blue. It's something that you create. And the way you create it is by what you think. It's through your thoughts. So
come on, it's not because he's throwing the food in the floor.
Well, it would be easy to think I love you because you're sitting there really nicely and you're eating your dinner, and that's why I'm feeling love for you, right? That's what normally we would think, in our kind of autopilot mode, when we don't really examine our thinking or our feelings. But really, that's not how love is created. It's not created by what other people do. You create the emotion yourself consciously. You decide to feel it by choosing your thoughts about it. So in the example of my son at dinner, I can choose what to think. I can choose, oh, he's impossible. He's really doing this on purpose. He just wants to ruin dinner and provoke his sisters. I can choose to think that, and then obviously I'm not going to feel a lot of love. I'll feel anger, frustration, right? But I can choose to think other thoughts. Maybe you have some ideas for what thoughts I could think. You can coach me right now.
Right? We can all, like, I was thinking about that and I was like, what does it come to me? Like if my child's doing that, throwing stuff, I think it depends, right? Like it depends on your emotional state. And there are days that you just like, I already going to the table already, if it's something that my child does on a daily basis, I'm already going to like, oh, there's gonna come that, you know, you can already, the days that you're feeling good, that you already kind of goes in prepared, and there are days that you're not feeling that great and you're just like, oh, that. But I think the best thing is just to realize that's not your child that's making it hard for you to love them, but just take accountability for, you know what, it's whatever I'm thinking. So maybe sometimes it's going to be easier for you to switch your thought and say, you know, that's what kids do when they are frustrated. Oh, what's his need right now? Oh, that's what tired looks like. So you take days that you can go to that and just like, oh, that's what tired look like, you know, because I that's what I try to go to when my kids are trying to, but you know what? Sometimes it doesn't work because guess who's tired too? Me.
That's right.
Sometimes I'm just like, but just taking that accountability, I think it's helpful. Just like, you know what? It's nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with how I'm feeling right now, or what exactly what I'm thinking, right, about this situation. And I think that just makes everything much better because you get your power back, right? Because when you just putting the blame on your child, you're making it really hard for me to love you. You give all your power away and it just feels so bad, so powerless when you just
really does, doesn't it? Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I'm not feeling really and again, I think the word love too, it's not that we don't love them and we don't want to pass that message, right? We don't want to let them think that our love is conditional. It depends on if you're good, if you're not good. But it's just like, but they also need to know that, you know what, mom is tired too. Mom has needs too. And there are days that mom is not going to show up the best because she is also tired.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So it's okay if you're not the most Zen mother when your child is doing that type of thing. Maybe you get a little bit irritated. Maybe you raise your voice a little. You go, stop it. And that's okay, because we don't just want to feel love for our child, but also for ourselves. You know, we also want to accept ourselves in that moment and think, okay, like you were saying, I'm tired. My child's tired. We're both tired. So
that's what tired looks like.
Exactly. But I guess what's interesting is that, you know, there's, if you want to feel love or loving, then it's important not to judge. So you don't judge your child and you don't judge yourself either. Which is often where we tend to go in these situations. First, we judge our child because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then, of course, we blame ourselves because the reason they're not doing what we would ideally like them to be doing is because we're a bad parent.
Our fault.
So, yeah, exactly. And that's really far away from love. So how can we, is it possible, do you think, to feel love even when our children are displaying, like pulling all the stops out, having a tantrum, throwing things? This is what my son does when he's really mad. He throws things. Like he will literally take a glass of water on the table, he will raise it, look at me, and then pour it on the table. Yeah, so that seems funny now, but as you were saying, when I'm tired, it's not so funny. So how can I feel love in that situation? What do you think? Is it possible?
I think it's 100% possible. I think it's possible to feel love in any situation. Because again, like you said, like love comes from a thought that you're having about your child, right? So if you choose to see him, like I said, because that's what I do when my kids are misbehaving, it's when I know they need me the most, because misbehavior comes from some need that's not being met. They're not feeling loved, or they're not feeling that they belong, or there's something they're feeling out of control. It's a fear, or there's something going on for them. So for me to, I'd like try to first go to compassion. So I just like, I really, when I'm having a hard time, I just try to go to compassion first. It's like, what's happening for him right now, and try to go look it through from his side, right? It's from his perspective. So I try to get out of here, mom's eyes. It's like, go to his side. It's like, what is must be happening here on that side? So that's one thing. Another thing is good to know too is child development, right? There are some things that they do at certain ages that it's so development appropriate, and you want them to do it because you know that that's how they're growing, they're learning. So that's another way I like to see him, just like, oh, his brain is really developing right now, especially with the lies. The lie has been coming, and I'm like, oh, now she understands that she can actually lie. At first I was like, oh,
Yeah.
and then, I try to go to the worst. And then I'm like, so I try to either try to see if there's a need that's not being met, or two, if that's developmentally, that's where their brain's at right now. There's discovering things, like they want to see how things work, or like what is going on for this child. But again, like, it's created by whatever story I'm creating in my mind. So what am I creating right now? He shouldn't be doing that. Or what type of mom is that doesn't teach her? Oh, if this keep going, what's going to happen next? Oh, like, so just watch your brain, right? And then ask questions to go from whatever frustration or whatever it is that you're feeling right now. I try to go to compassion first.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think compassion and also curiosity.
Yes.
I think is useful. Like, what's going on for him or her? What's happening that they're doing this? Like with my son, I know he's just really tired at that time of day. He's exhausted, so he has no kind of capacity left for sort of doing what he's meant to be doing. He just can't, when in the morning, if I say to him, you can't have a biscuit, he is like much more likely to accept that, but in the evening, he's so tired, then it's just a full-blown tantrum. So being curious, like, oh, I wonder why he's doing that. It goes back to what you were saying with the needs, what does he need? In this case, he basically just needs rest. He just needs to go to bed. But as a family, there are, of course, other family members who also have needs, like my older children. So we have to find some kind of compromise.
Yeah. And again, like, I love that you said, and then look at your needs too. Sometimes there are days that's easier, there are days it's a struggle, and that's okay, because you also have needs. And another thing that I think the parents goes to when I tell them that is like, so what are you telling me, that to not discipline my child when they do the wrong things? I said, no, that has nothing to do with that. You can discipline from love. It's like, oh, don't do that. And when you do that, this happens. Or what are you doing again? Like there's no, go to your room. Or, when you do this happened. This comes from love. Like, I love you. I'm here for you. But we don't do that. That's not how we show up. So, so there is that. So it doesn't mean that we're just letting our kids do whatever they want. Like, oh, I know by this age they lie, so it's okay. You can lie. No, you cannot. By the way, lying, it's not good. So come here. Let's have a conversation, right? That is, and show up for you from love for you and your child.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good point, that we can easily think that if we're approaching these situations from love and compassion, we're just going to let our kids get away with anything. But that's not the case. In fact, if we're approaching situations like that from feelings of love and compassion, we are likely to be more like the parent we really want to be, and show them that their actions have consequences, but in a way that we actually feel good about our parenting, rather than exploding, screaming at them, sending them to their room. That might feel good for like 2 or 3 minutes, but afterwards, we're going to be judging ourselves.
Guilt.
I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, feeling guilty. I
Shame.
overreacted, all of that. Yeah. So no, love and compassion does not mean letting them get away with anything. But if you can create those feelings in yourself, then you're approaching situations from a calmer state of mind, and then using, you know, consequences that are appropriate for your child is doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not saying it's easy, you know, and we need to practice this. And also it's okay when it goes wrong, you know, you can always start over. It's not, we're not looking for perfection.
So true. Because even though I have all those tools, I still like, it's easier, way easier, because I am already, number one, I'm practicing. So, but that doesn't mean that it's perfection, because it's not, it's far away from it. But I just know how to identify when I can't do it too, when I'm in a state that I'm tired too. So I think that is the point of the coaching, is like, it's just empowers you, because now you're in control, right? Like, you don't have to be perfect for me to love you. I love you no matter what. And I know if I'm not in a loving state, is because of my thoughts about it. And that's all it is. So I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, exactly. And that is really empowering. Just the knowledge and the awareness that love is always available to you. 100%. But it's not coming from the outside. It's not coming from what your kid is doing. It's coming from what you're feeling on the inside, which is created by what you're thinking. Perfect. So
I think that's a great way to end. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you too.
See you soon.